This is a question from the TSA, which is for competitive degrees at Oxford University. This is a question that you have to be able to solve in 30 to 45 seconds. I'm going to teach you a really easy trick to solve it. Let's see if you get it right first. When it comes to these find a flaw questions, first of all, let's understand what a flaw in an argument actually is. A flaw is anything that makes the chain of reasoning or the logic wrong. It's something that breaks the chain of reasoning that gets you then to the conclusion. The reason that this is going to be quite easy for you with a bit of practice is that in the TSA, there's only about 5 different types of flaws that really appear. And that's because generally there are only really 5 main types of flaws that people make in everyday debates and discussions and essays. So I'll just run you through them quickly. I do have a much longer, more detailed video explaining each one with examples if you are interested in learning more. But just very quickly, the first one is equating correlation with causation. The second one is when you take a specific example, specific case study, and then extrapolate it out to lots of different cases, general cases. The third is when you equate two things as being the same when they're not. So something like being tall is the same as being big. Obviously, that's not true. They might be similar ideas and they may come hand in hand, but they don't always, and you have to be careful about that. The fourth is when the argument itself is not complete. You're missing one of the steps in it. So it goes straight from A to B to D and it misses out point C. And then the next is when you believe that because A is wrong, that B is right. So just because somebody else's idea is wrong, it doesn't make you right. You could both be wrong. So knowing all of that, now take another look at the question. The argument here, or the chain of reasoning, just to simplify it a bit for you, is the Department of Education is basically saying, let's get kids to recite poetry. This should make them more aware of poetry, and therefore they're going to like and appreciate poetry. So hopefully you should see this one as the flaw where you are equating two things as the same. You're basically saying that because they know about poetry, they're definitely going to like it. That's obviously not the same thing. You can know it and hate it, but you're still reciting it, right? So in this case, if you look at the options A to E, hopefully you should see that C is the answer. Awareness is not the same as appreciation. If this seemed doable to you, maybe you could look more into courses that use the TSA and other admissions exams to get you a spot, especially if you're a bit worried about your A levels or GCSE results.